working on and how you can help. Moms for Liberty is the nation's largest grassroots parental rights organization. When the government infringes upon our fundamental God-given rights to direct the upbringing of our children, we step up to ensure communities across the country are informed and empowered to take action. Moms for Liberty shines a light on the areas where government overreach most frequently impacts our children, particularly in their education and overall well-being. Recently, Moms for Liberty launched M4LU, an academic initiative designed to educate, equip, and empower parents in the fight for their children's future. This program offers live-streamed lectures and online resources covering critical topics such as gender ideology, social-emotional learning, critical race theory, comprehensive sex education, and restorative justice practices in our schools. It's a valuable resource for parents looking to understand the challenges their children face. More information and course schedules can be found on the national website at momsforliberty.org. Currently, Moms for Liberty is focused on pending legislation that affects our schools while also supporting and educating like-minded school board candidates at the local level. To aid in this mission, we've developed a revolutionary campaign kit that provides school board candidates with a roadmap to victory. This kit covers essential campaign strategies, helping candidates understand election cycles, refine voter communication, and avoid common pitfalls. Since many school board candidates are first-time office seekers, this resource is invaluable. And best of all, it is free. Our local chapter is here to provide hands-on support. President Trump has done a remarkable job returning power to state and local school boards. Now it is up to us as parents to complete the work. More than ever, it's critical that we carefully choose who sits on our school boards. There is much to be done, and we need parents to stand up and hold school board members accountable for setting policies that protect our children and prioritize academic excellence. In Lake County, the majority of our school boards have opted to sign on with Neola, a service that drafts school policies for them. While school boards have the ability to modify these cookie-cutter policies, many hesitate to do so out of fear of losing the legal protections provided by this service. However, the reality is that we need clear, precise policies that eliminate harmful and destructive practices embedded in our public education system. Over the past 4 years, I have fought against inappropriate books and politically motivated curriculum in Mentor schools, only to see the majority of the school board vote to keep them in place. Despite executive orders and public pleas for a return to academic basics, the Mentor School Board continues to push and protect a political agenda. Curriculum, books, and digital programs in our schools have, for years, promoted a leftist political ideology. It will take persistent parental oversight and determination to remove these influences, along with electing a conservative majority to our school boards. Many hands make light work. Moms for Liberty welcomes all who wish to join us in the fight to restore excellence in education. Now is the time to unite and take back control of our children's educations. If you are interested in learning more about the issues in our schools and want to help make a difference, please join Moms for Liberty Lake County at our regularly scheduled meetings held on the third Monday of each month at Lakeshore Assembly of God Church in Mentor at 7 p.m. Additionally, we invite you to join our Moms for Liberty Lake County Facebook group to stay informed about what's happening in the schools across our county. If you have any questions at all, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do you know if there's any viable candidates that are going to be running for Mentor?
We have a few that have voiced interest, but no one has filed besides the reigning president of the Mentor School Board that I'm aware of. I will say that the Moms for Liberty group here in Lake County is heavily geared towards Mentor. We haven't had a lot of other participation from other schools in the county to know what is going on in each of those schools. So we would love to have representation from those other school districts.
I could just tell you, Chairman Dale Fellows said at our last luncheon this past Friday that Mentor School Board is a priority and they are searching for candidates.
Yes, we are definitely in need of good conservative candidates, and we have a few that we are talking to and hoping that they run, and we will definitely be there to help them. But we could use anyone's help who is interested in helping shape the school system. And we have the power now. We just have to get out there and do, because you still have the same people in power. Our school boards are still heavily left, and they're all indoctrinated into what has been going on for the past 4 years. And even though all this is coming down and Trump has done all that he's done, they are still going to find loopholes, fight against it, do whatever they possibly can to keep it going the way it's going. So we have to have voices. If they think that, you know, I show up at every school board meeting and I speak and maybe 2 or 3 other people do, well, we're a small majority of lunatics coming to tell them what they're doing is wrong when they know what is right. So we have to have more people stand up and speak about what they want happening in our schools.
Jacqueline, if I could just, how many, by raise of hands, how many of you live within the Mentor School District where you would vote for Mentor Schools? Can I see how many we have here? So not a lot. Because the fact is, I mean, the Mentor Schools are a mess. And if nothing else, if you could just show up at the meetings, you don't have to speak.
Right.
But they need to see that there are people out there who are invested in you know, addressing the lunacy, and it's lunacy, that goes on at those meetings.
Yes. They fight against us when we ask to have pornographic, completely inappropriate children's books taken out of our library. They have voted over and over again on like 38 different books to retain the books. Why? What is the point of this? I have no idea. At our last meeting, they voted to keep a computer program in the schools that obviously contains DEI and LGBTQ and completely inappropriate politically charged things, and their response is, well, we'll write a policy to keep them from using that part of the program. Well, they're not writing policies. They're getting policies from Neola that are just basic, you know, open holes that mean nothing, and they're passing those through instead of outlining what should be done in order to keep that stuff out of the schools and take that stuff out of the schools, because they just really don't want to. They don't want to. They have no desire to do that. Yes?
What is Neola?
Neola writes school policies for, I think we spent $30,000. Northeast, I don't know what it stands for. I'm not sure, but they write school policies, just basic, could go for any school, and then the schools are supposed to take those policies and they can alter it to fit their school, or they can leave it as is. If they leave it as is, then if there's ever any litigation against the school for that policy, then Neola will represent them. But each school has their own legal representation anyway. But they use it as an excuse to not change the policies coming down. And if you look into the funding and the history of Neola, you will see that it's funded by left-wing groups to begin with. So they're writing policy to, you know, cater to the left to begin with. And then your school board members who think that they should just get up there and say yes, 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 and they don't read it, they don't investigate it, they don't think this should, you know, even be an issue. We should just trust the authority figures. They just let it all ride through. Yes, Brian.
Bernie Moreno, help or no help?
Bernie, so Bernie Moreno called out one of the school board members for her speech on the legalities and all this about changing the policies, and the president of the board answered back, and it really didn't answer Bernie's questions at all. So then she publicly spoke online, and I sent that to Bernie, and Bernie responded with, you know, that's incredible, you looped some people in, but then unfortunately it fizzled out. But Moms for Liberty and friends, members, we will continue to publicize and push out information about the Mentor school systems, because we have been in the national news now for years, and we will continue to make that happen until the board actually starts voting our way, which they are not. So. And most of your school boards are left-leaning, by the way, in every district in Lake County.
One more question. Do the school boards pay money to this organization?
Yes, they do. I believe it was like $30,000 to $40,000, yes, for this service. And almost all of our schools have signed up for this service, allowing Neola to write these school policies. And that is their job, to write policy. So, well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.